What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Welcome to day 5 of my vlog. I know I'm looking kind of rough right now. I know my beard, I just shaved the other day, but it grows hella fast, so apologize if I look like a caveman. But for today's topic, what I wanted to share today, um, what what's on my mind right now, I wanted to share with you guys today was I wanted to talk about individuality and learning learning to accept yourself that it's okay to be different because if you're because everybody has their, like I said, I'm doing this vlog right now to share my journey in life with you, but all of you guys that's watching, you guys have your own life journey, and life's a journey. So and everybody that goes through their life journey to find happiness, peace, love, joy, fulfillment, um, you have to, you have to understand that everybody's journey is different, and you have to understand that you have to be able to stay true to your own happiness, because what makes me happy in my life's journey is not going to be the same of what makes you happy in your life's journey. How I am, how I think, what I like, how my heart is, how my morals, my values, what I believe that's a priority to my life, what I believe is important to my life, my faith in God. It's always going to be different than every single person that's watching. So everybody, there's over 7 billion people in this world, and everybody is created perfect by Heavenly Father, but everybody was created unique and different. And that's one of the things I want to encourage today. I want to talk about in this video that I know a lot of people right now, kids, teenagers, adults, a lot of people suffer with mental health, suffer with anxiety, suffer with depression, suffer suffer with emotional problems and issues. Is because they have a hard time accepting who they are, and they have a hard time being themselves in this world, because the world we live in today, there's so much uh, expectation from our parents, and so much expectation from our culture, from the media, from pop culture, from our friends, from high school, college, whatever, whatever group that you're a part of, or whatever, uh, you know, special type of cultural group you're part of. There's all these different expectations and standards that we are born into society, and what society is trying to do, they're all trying to, the problem is the society we live in, they're trying to fit all of us in one box. When it comes to when it comes to our mindset, when it comes to how we express ourselves, when it comes to what we believe, when it comes to everything we do, your career choice, when it comes to everything that you want to decide you want to do for your life that's going to make you happy. And what happens is, when you can't be yourself, you will never be able to find happiness. I think one of my favorite quotes is the first step of being happy is being yourself. And that's one thing I want to encourage all of you guys out there. As you're working towards happiness, as you're working towards success, as you're working towards finding love, you have to be able to, number one, accept who you are and be yourself, and be comfortable being yourself. And I know that's harder said than done, because we're all born into our families. Every single person's family has their own expectation and standards, and values and principles of how they expect you to act and be like within your own family, also within in your own culture. Every culture is different. Every culture has their own expectations, principles, and values of how you're supposed to act and think. Your church, right? Whatever congregation or denomination that you're part of, every culture have their own values and principles of how a man or a woman should act, right? So there's all these layers that's compounded upon us, and sometimes those layers can be a burden, because you feel like you're trapped. You feel like that, you know, you can never be yourself. And what happens is when you can't be yourself, you end up living a life that's not good for you. You end up living a life that's not happy for you. And you're living out of fear, and you're living out of anxiety instead of living out of love and fulfillment and progress, right? And you start doubting yourself. You start doubting who you are. Like you can, like you're so afraid. You're just living your life out of fear, and that's a really miserable way to live. When we've all been there. We've all been there where we felt fear. I've been afraid sometimes in my life. When you feel fear, it's not a good feeling. Sorry about that. Some guy in the bike just rolled by hella loud. But fear is not a good place to be. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you stressed out. It makes you worry. Your emotions are out of place, and you're not in control. And when you're in that place of fear, it's hard for you to actually do. It's actually for you to actually take action towards doing the things that makes you happy, and you can never reach your true potential. Because whatever you do in life, it's always going to take action. It's always going to take a lot of work. And what happens is when you are living your life out of fear, you can't give your best effort. You can't do your best towards achieving your goals and dreams. You can't truly love somebody, right? That you're attracted to or you have feelings for, because that fear in your heart is always going to stop you from actually showing that person how much you really care about that person. You can't truly be happy, because when you're living out of fear, when you're afraid of being yourself, when you're afraid of what people think about you, their perception of you, you're always like, it's like you're walking it's like you're walking on broken glass. You're just so afraid to move, and you can't really do the things. You can't maximize on your opportunities. You can't maximize on your strengths and your gifts and the talents that God has blessed you with, and because you're just so afraid to be yourself, and you're just so afraid to express and to accept your individuality of who you are as a human being. So, and that's one thing I want to talk about today for everybody out there that understands what I'm talking about. Everybody out there that feels that way. I want to encourage you to start working on yourself, to love yourself, to accept who you are, to be comfortable not only with your strengths and your gifts, but also your flaws, and also the things that you know that you're not good at, the things that you know that you need to improve on as a person, as a human being, to be the best version of yourself. And I know that's harder said than done, because at the end of the day, the people that we want to impress, and the people we're trying to create this like facade, to impress, and so that way we can please them, like our parents and our family members. I understand it, because we love these people, right? And I've been there before, where growing up, come here, growing up as a Polynesian, when I first came here to America, I'm not gonna lie, when you come here from Tonga, you're a straight fob, right? Fresh off the boat, so you act, I was acting like any islander would act. And a lot of times when you come here to America, a lot of people will make fun of you for being a fob, will make fun of you because you don't speak their language, make fun of you of how you dress, or of how you talk, of the way you move and the way you think. And a lot of people try to make you feel like you're insecure, and you start being insecure of who you are. And sometimes in my life, I started to feel like that I wasn't proud. I was afraid of being Tongan. I was afraid of being Polynesian. I was afraid to be to be myself. Like I told you before, I like to joke around. I like to have fun. I like to smile. I'm very energetic. All right, I just like to have fun all the time. But I came to this culture in America where being silly, or being funny, right? Maybe for most people they think like it's immature, or I'm still silly now. I'm still funny now, even though I'm older now. But I don't think it's immature, because I have a sense of humor, and it's my way of just making. It's my way of shining, of my way of being happy, And that's how I deal with my the obstacles and challenges in my life. It's just I make fun of it and make light of it. And I understand that I'm different, but I know a lot of times in our lives that a lot of people struggle with this is they have a hard time. They have this dilemma, right? They have the dilemma is that they want to be themselves and they want to express themselves. They want to accept themselves of who they are, but they also want to. They also want to please their family and make their family happy. And my advice to all you guys is at the end of the day, you have to realize it's your life, and you can't control what people feel like. You can't control how the feeling, how what people think or what people are gonna say. But you have to understand that if you're gonna live your life with fear, that you're gonna suffer a very miserable life, and you're gonna struggle a lot. And at some point of time, you have to realize that you can't please everyone in this world, right? You can't please everyone and satisfy everyone. You have to understand that the only person that's most important to be happy is yourself. That you have to be happy with who you are, because no matter if you try to please everyone, when you go back home at the end of the day, the person that you're gonna spend the most time, the person you're gonna spend the most time with in this world. And the reason why being happy, accepting yourself and loving yourself is so important because the person that you're going to spend the most time in this world with is always going to be yourself. It's not going to be your parents. It's not going to be your siblings, your family, your friends, people at work. The person that you talk to every single day from the moment that you develop enough cognitive skills within your brain that you can talk to yourself as a child. But the moment the moment, sorry, apologize, guys. But the moment you realize that the person you're gonna spend the most time with is yourself, that's when you realize that you have to learn. I mean, that's the person that you have to make happy. Because at the end of the day, you could act different or pretend to be someone else when you're in public, but then when you go home and you go back to your room by yourself behind closed doors, it's going to only be you, right? Especially when we start living real life, when you start, when you move out the house and start living your own life, you realize that at the end of the day, the only person that's always going to be that always going to be there for is yourself. Because sometimes in life we put ourselves, we go through obstacles, challenges, we put ourselves in some situations, we make mistakes, we make falls, we may fall down in life. But sometimes you realize in life, sometimes the people that you thought that were always going to be there for you when life hits you hard, when you hit rock bottom or you go through some tough situations in your life or you make some big mistakes, you realize that the only person that's always going to be there is you. And you have to understand that the only person, the person that you can spend the most time is yourself. And what happens is when no one is around, and everybody that you thought that was always going to be there is no longer around, or the people that you were trying to impress are no longer around, and the only person that's left is you. That's why it's so important for you to work on yourself, to love the person inside, because when you hit rock bottom, when you go through your toughest times in life, when you go through your darkest times in life, the person that you're going to have a conversation with that's going to either encourage you and feed you love and positivity, or they're going to tear you apart and feed you negativity and discouragement, is the person you're going to be talking to, the person you're going to be talking to inside. And that's why it's so important for you to have a great relationship with yourself. And the first step in creating a great relationship with yourself, you have to love yourself first. You have to love the person not only you see on the outside, but you also have to be transparent to love the person just as much as you see on the inside. You have to feed that person love, faith, encouragement. You have to be proud of who you are. You have to be proud of being different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. And that's something that we need to start changing within our society, is to make make different the new norm. Because nowadays, like I said, everybody has society have a norm, right? There's a norm when it comes to what Polynesians should act like. There's a norm when it comes to what Christians should act like, what Catholics should act like, what Mormons should act like. There's a norm when it comes to your family name, what the Haveas act like, what the Finaos act like, what the the Bowles act like, right? The Johnsons, the Koozies, whatever your family name is. Every family name have a norm of how they should act like. So the group, the economic class, the income class where you come from, right? There's a societal norm for how people in your economic class should act like, or whether you're poor, middle class, or you're wealthy. There's all these different norms. So what happens is when people go against these norms, everybody and become different, or or act a different life, they kind of ostracize them from the group, from their society, and make them feel like that being different is wrong. And that's one of the biggest challenges a lot of people suffer today, and they suffer with mental health, and they suffer with depression, suffer with anxiety, is they believe that being different is a bad thing. But I want to just encourage all you guys out there that there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. There's nothing wrong with who you are. What is wrong is the people that you surround yourself with and the opinions that you listen to make you believe, to make you think that you're not good enough, that something is wrong with you, that you're less worthy or less valuable compared to everybody else because you're different from everybody else. And that's the problem with today. And I want to encourage you guys to understand that you are absolutely beautiful and powerful and strong. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. What is wrong is just the people that you surround yourself with. And there's nothing. And I understand. Like if you look around the world, that's one of my best examples. One of my favorite passages from the Bible is like, I don't know the precise verse and chapter, but it was a chapter how it was saying if you look at the world and look at the beauty of the world, the reason why the world is so beautiful is because of the uniqueness and the differences of every single bird, flower, or tree. Right? If you look at the different types of flower, the reason why they stand out is because they're different. If every single flower was the same, it wouldn't look as beautiful as different flowers all standing out, all shining on its own, all blossoming on its own. And the same thing applies to your personality. The same thing applies to your mindset, to how you think, to how you express yourself, to your goals and dreams. You can't let the limited mindset and the small minds of the world diminish your fire, your shine, and diminish your great mind and the things that you want to express to the world. Because I truly believe that everybody here was created for a purpose. Just like everything in nature you see, everything in nature has a purpose. In order to fulfill that purpose, you must love your individual. You must believe in your individuality, and you must believe in your own differences, and you must accept your differences to understand that being different is your purpose in life. I know for me, I'm Polynesian, I'm Tongan. What I'm trying to achieve for my life achieve my goals and dreams, to be a motivational speaker, to travel the world, inspire the world. This is something that's totally different from what my family expected me I was going to become. Totally different from what my culture expected me to become. Totally different from what society expects from a Tongan. Nobody. When people think about Tongans, nobody thinks motivational coach. When people think about Tongans, nobody thinks generational wealth. When people talk about Tongan, when people say Tongans, number one, people don't even know what Tongans are. And people don't associate Tongan or Polynesia to any kind of greatness, success, or wealth, all right, or being great in society. But that's okay, because that is absolutely okay. Because at the end of the day, that's their perspective, and that's their vision of how they see things. But my vision for myself is different from the vision of most people. And I also understand that the way I live my life is the way I think, and also the way I do things. I know sometimes in my life, in my family, they don't understand. A lot of them don't understand me. They don't understand why I am who I am, because I spend a lot of time working on my goals and dreams. I don't. Sometimes I don't. I'm just working. I wake up in the morning and I leave the house, and I do what I got to do. And I'm just tunnel vision. I'm just trying to work. I'm trying to fulfill everything I got to do for the day, to work on my content, to work on my speeches, to work on my projects. I'm working every single day on the ideas I have in my mind. I'm trying to bring it to reality. From the outside, all my family sees is me leaving the house, and they see me coming back home. And they make an assumption that I'm not doing anything with my life. They make an assumption that, this guy here is, he's just, a bum, right? because all they see in me is leave the house and come back home. I'm not the type to come home and tell everybody what I'm doing. I'm not here to. I'm like I don't like to brag or tell people, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm making moves with this. I could be winning. I could be making big moves, but like I said, I keep to myself. I try to stay humble to myself, and let my actions and my results speak for itself. You know, but a lot of people just have their own perception of me and within my own family. And before in the past, I used to think about those things. I used to let it get to me. It used to make me kind of sad sometimes, or cause me stress sometimes, because it's coming from my own people, that the people that's closest to me, that I feel like that they should be my biggest supporters. But just growing in life and understanding that at the end of the day, everybody, like I said, they can't understand it because they're not living my life. They're just looking from outside in. They don't see all the stuff I do on the back end, all the stuff, all the people I help and love. I do so many things to help other people that most people never know. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to publicize and tell everybody, hey guys, look, I'm helping this person, I'm loving this person. But the only person I'm doing it for at the end of the day is for myself, for my future, and most importantly, the only person that knows what I'm doing is God, and He sees the work I do every single day. But I understand that it's not their fault, because they just don't know. They just don't know. They can't see what I see, and they don't see what I do on a 24-hour basis. And I'm in peace with that. And the reason why I'm in peace with that is because I'm in peace with myself. What happens is when you start loving yourself, and when you start being in peace with yourself, when you start working towards your happiness, it allows you just to focus on yourself, so you don't have to realize on the different opinions of other people. You realize on the grand scheme of things that number one, I don't have time. Like, you realize that people's opinions and people's prejudgments, people's negative criticism and hate, that's just their own opinion, but it literally has no impact to my life. I just realized that no matter all the haters and doubters and people that criticize me, I realized that their opinions has no impact towards making my goals and dreams, what makes me happy, become a reality. And the only thing that's going to make my goals and dreams become a reality is the work that I do. And the only way I can do my best work is I have to be focused, and I have to love what I do, and I have to be happy. Because when you're happy, you're more willing to give. When you're happy, you're more energetic. When you're happy, you're more motivated. When you're happy, you're more inspired. When you're happy, you're willing to work harder. When you're happy, you're willing to bounce back stronger every single time you fall. When you're happy, you're willing to be more grateful. You're willing to see the vision. You're willing to dream. You're willing to aspire. You're willing to hope. You're willing to be courageous. That's what happens when you're happy. Being happy creates all these positive emotions that you can feed from, that you can pick from, and utilize every single day to make it into an emotion and make it into a decision for you to make the decision to progress in your life. But when you're afraid, when you live out of fear, and when you worry, all the emotions that come from fear, worry, is negativity, depression, sadness, doubt, fear, anxiety, right? All these negative emotions that we feel, discouraged, right? Afraid, right? Darkness, hopeless, meaningless, worthless. All these emotions come from when you live out of fear, and when you don't love yourself, and when you don't accept yourself, and when you don't believe your own individuality, and you're trying to pretend to be someone that you're not. And that's why I want to encourage all you guys to start loving who we are, accepting who we are, and understand that being different is okay. Regardless, if nobody in your family, in your society circle, friends or family, no matter what people think, and they may castise you, or they may ostracize you from your group, from your family, from whatever group that you're in. But at the end of the day, it's your life journey. At the end of the day, it's just opinion. At the end of the day, it's no physical hurt that they're gonna make upon you is just all mental. But what's you have to fucking figure out is you have to become mentally tough and be strong and understand to be able to handle that and still focus on what you got to do for yourself to be happy. So, but yeah, just wanted to share with you guys because I know a lot of people out there that they're having a hard time loving themselves. They have a hard time accepting themselves. They have a hard time, uh, you know, doing what makes them happy. But I want to just ask you guys. I mean, I want to encourage you guys. At the end of the day, what helps me a lot is I always think about this all the time. I only have one life. And a lot of people always ask me, "Hey, Will, man, how do you how do you deal with negativity or how do you deal with people's judgments or criticism? How do you deal with the expectations from your family, from your church, from your culture? Because you're very you're a very outspoken person. You're very different. You're not afraid to be who you are. How did you become like that? And one thing I realized, as growing up, I realized at the end of the day, we don't have a lot of time on this earth, and life is so short. And for me, I just started thinking to myself, you know what? If I try to be someone I'm not, to please everybody else, and to make everybody else happy, and I'm not happy, and I'm suffering inside, I ask myself this question: like, am I really willing to live that like that, to live that life for the rest of my life? Am I really willing to pretend to be somebody I'm not the rest of my life? Am I really willing to be unhappy of not being myself, to live out of fear, to live out of insecurity for the rest of my life? Am I really willing to give up on my goals and dreams, my aspirations, things I know in my heart that I want to do and I want to pursue? I want to give that up so I can just please the masses, to please the people around me for the rest of my life. And I told myself I can't. Like I can't. I can't live the rest of my life like that because I just thinking about that pain is just too much for me. And I'd rather die, honestly. I'd rather die than live a life that hurts me every single day. I'd rather be by myself, and I'd rather go through walk a different path in my own journey by myself than to walk a life that's not me, and to walk a life that brings me down every single day, and I'm not truly happy within myself. And a lot of people, and like I just can't. I just don't want to regret. I just don't want to regret when I get to the end of my life. I'm sure I'm gonna have kids one day. I'm gonna have grandkids. Like I can't look at my grandkids and tell them to encourage them to live their goals and dreams. To encourage them to be courageous, to be themselves, to love themselves when I couldn't do that for myself. I can't be a hypocrite to the people I love. I have to be true to myself. I just want to think you guys think about that. A lot of you guys, it doesn't matter if you're a teenager, it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s. Just ask yourself: are you really going to live your life that way? Are you really going to let people's opinion take control of your life? Are you really going to let people be the determining factor of whether you're happy or not? Whether if you become successful or not? Whether if you reach your true potential or not? Whether you feel like you're valuable or not? You have to believe in your happiness, believe in your peace, believe in your heart, believe in the love that you have, and don't be afraid. And the reason why a lot of people settle, and the reason why a lot of people keep it in, because they're afraid they're gonna lose they're afraid they're gonna lose the people they love. And one thing I know about reaching your happiness and doing what makes you happy, you're gonna attract the right people. You may lose your close friends, but the thing is, you're gonna attract the right friends. You may lose some relatives, but you're gonna attract some real family. Sometimes like I guess one of my favorite quotes. Blood makes you a relative, but loyalty makes you family. You may lose a job, you may lose some people, but I'm telling you, when you start working on when you start deciding that you're gonna go on your journey in life, your own journey that makes you happy, you're always gonna attract the right opportunities, the right people that's gonna love you for being you, that's gonna love you, appreciate you, that's gonna respect you, that's gonna respect and that's gonna understand how you are and not judge you, but appreciate you. Because at the end of the day, we all different. At the end of the day, I can't judge no one, and I can't put my and I'm not one. I can't judge nobody because everybody's different. Everybody's human beings. Everybody makes mistakes. I can't judge I can't judge people's chapter in their life when I have never seen their story. And that's one thing I understand all in my life, and that's something that's helped me to get to this point far. And I know for a fact that if I didn't decide to be myself, and I did decide to live my own life and be happy, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't have achieved the success, the knowledge, the confidence, the courage, the faith I have, everything I have in my life right now. It's all because I decided to be myself. It's all because I was the one afraid to follow my heart and afraid to do what makes and to pursue what makes me happy and to find my own peace, right? And like I said, I have a few people in my life right now that I really care about because they accept me for who I am, and I appreciate those people. And I'll make sure when I achieve my goals and dreams, and I'll also take care of all those people that I know that's always there for me, especially during my hard times in my life. But that's I wanted to make this talk about today in my vlog. I understand, especially for all you guys out there that's suffering from being yourself or loving yourself, or they're afraid of being different. I want to encourage all you guys to start accepting who you are, start working yourself, and start limiting your exposure to people that don't love you for being yourself, but don't appreciate you for being yourself. And just work on it every single day. And what happens is, I'm telling you, just like a muscle, when you work on it, just like a muscle, when you work on it, it's gonna grow. You're gonna learn. You're gonna grow. You're gonna learn. You're gonna develop into a better and stronger person every single day. And I know it's hard. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but you know what they say. When you do what's easy, your life is going to be hard. But if you always do what's hard, your life is going to be easy. So, love you guys. If you have any questions, like I said, please, if you love my content, please like my video. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment below. Ask me any questions you guys want. If you guys love my content, please subscribe to my page, and also, even if you love what I'm giving, then please can you share with the people you love. And I love all you guys. Walk by faith, not by sight. Let's spread the love and positivity. Say bless all through. Peace.